Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that's going through a bit of an emo phase right now. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 38 Ride or Dies Episode 5, and let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Colleen and Kim winning against Tommy and Annalise, coming back to the Challenge House, and Colleen and Kim are happy that they're back in the Challenge House, get to still play in this game, but they know if they don't win, they could easily be seeing another draw, another elimination. So it's desperate times that they need to work together to get a win to stay out of elimination. Another person who really wants to win is Michele, because her and Jay could be on the chopping block next. With another rookie team gone, their time could be up to be nominated yet again. They're worried that they are on the lower end of the hierarchy in the house, a la close to the rookie teams of the only two that are left, Olivia and Horacio, and Colleen and Kim. Let's move on to the next day where there is a pool party and everyone's having a great time. We get to see some flirting here between Fessel, Colleen, Olivia, Nelson, Laurel, and Horacio, as well as Mariah and Bananas are also flirting with each other, despite Mariah's mom saying, hey, watch out for that banana man. We also in this moment hear from Laurel and Veronica, who are talking about what they need to do in this game, that they too feel on the lower end of the hierarchy when it comes to the vets. They came in late. They aren't that necessarily looked as a team that is a big threat to win a lot of the challenges, so that could be a good thing, but if they're not winning, they could also be thrown in and nominated again and again and again. Just like last week they were nominated, they could be doing that week after week after week. So they feel like they need to start thinking about what they could do to make moves in this game and to get further along in this game. Later in the night, we see a musical performance by Chinese Takeout, which is Jay, Jack, and Bananas performing Adeline, their song, and it is like an emo night. We find out here that Jay and Jack are bros. They're broing it out. They really enjoy each other's company, and they could be really solid friends outside of this game. But we'll put a pin in that as we move to this week's daily challenge, which is sponsored by Burger King, called the Royal Relay. And what everybody's going to have to do, they're going to have to swim and rowboat to collect 4 pieces of a crown and assemble it. The team that can assemble their crown the quickest will win into power, win into safety, and have ultimate power. This will be ran in 2 heats. And I have to mention that before this even began, Nurys and Nelson have this confessional where Nurys brings up a date that Nelson took her, and before she could finish the sentence, I was like, did Nelson take Nurys to Burger King on their first date? But she said that he took her rowing on the first date, which, you know what? Good for you, Nelson. It's better than taking her to Burger King on the first date. In Heat 1, we have Nelson, Nurys, Laurel and Jack, Amber and Chauncey, Anissa and Jordan, Olivia and Horacio, Jay and Michele, and in round 1, Laurel looked to be beasting out this swim. Michele was close behind her, but once they got their crown pieces, Laurel started falling behind a little bit in the swim. She went a little bit too quick, too early, and that was a pretty long swim, so Michele was able to take over first place. So it was Michele getting to her platform first, then Laurel, then when we get actually back into the water, Jay keeps first place, but Jordan overtakes Jack and another team to get into second place. Jack, with his backstroke, takes 4th place, and then we have this kind of neck-to-neck competition between Michele and Jay, Jordan and Anissa the whole time, and Olivia and Horacio take in 3rd place, and Laurel and Jack just consistently stay in 4th place. Amber and Chauncey DQ. Nelson, who broke his 54 daily challenge losing streak, now is starting a new streak up, as now this streak is at 1. We're starting the counter now, everybody. Despite Jordan and Anissa putting in an impressive performance to make a comeback after being down quite early in this game, Michele and Jay were able to pull out this win in Heat 1. We move on to Heat 2, which has Colleen and Kim, Bananas and Nany, Tori and Devin, Mariah and Fessel, Casey, Kenny, Veronica, and Laurel. And during the swim, Casey's like in 1st place, Tori's in 2nd place, Nany is in 3rd place. However, on the swim back after getting their puzzle pieces, Casey goes from 1st place all the way down to 5th place. where the hell did Casey go? Where was she swimming? Was she swimming the complete opposite? Was she trying to swim the whole length of this lake? I don't know what happened, but when she gets back to her platform, her and Kenny are in 5th place, Tori takes over 1st place, Nani gets 2nd place, Devin on his swim is able to get his crown piece back in 1st place, Fessel then takes over 2nd place, and Bananas is in 3rd place. At the rowboat, it is a comedy of errors between Nani and Mariah as they are stalling out, they're going around in circles. This allows Casey and Kenny from 5th place to get all the way back to 2nd place, to the point where it is Tori, Devin, Casey, Kenny, then Colleen and Kim. And man, when Kim gets into that rowing sensation, he looks like a natural. Did he do crew or anything back in Germany? Because he just completely dominates this. It is neck and neck between Kim and Colleen, Tori and Devin to see who is going to get in 1st place. However, despite Kim and Colleen's comeback after being around 3rd place the whole time and then getting into 2nd place at the final stretch, Tori and Devin are able to win Heat 2, making this a 2-team race between Jay and Michele, Tori and Devin. Who will win? It's Jay and Michele. They did an incredible job all the way around overall. And what do you expect from a Survivor team when it is a swimming daily challenge? But they did an incredible job in the rowboat as well. They win. They not only win into power, they get $5K each thanks to BK. So they go back to the challenge house where everybody has a Burger King feast and probably indigestion later. Then we get to the deliberation, where Jay and Michele are going to talk about who they want to nominate. And earlier in this episode, Michele was talking to Amber about how she doesn't feel she can trust Laurel. That's the first names that are brought up. Jack and Laurel are going to be the first people nominated. Even though Jay and Jack seem to be the best of buddies, Jay then puts in the names of Aneesa and Jordan, how they have mentioned their names multiple times about possibly being nominated if they went into power. Incredible start. I was like, yes, keep this going. Bananas and Nani nominated you in week 2. You should be throwing them in. They should be the next names mentioned. However, Jay then puts in Colleen and Kim's name. Why? Because they don't have a home. And if we nominate them, we can talk to them one-on-one and maybe we could be their home. What kind of logic is that? Have a conversation outside of the nomination room to see if they want to work with you. Why are you going to nominate them and put them into risk when you want to work with them and have them be a number for you? Then we get Jay mentioning Bananas and Nani, but then that is quickly vetoed by Michele, saying like, well, but Nani and I had a moment in the club that one time and I don't want to nominate them. What about Darrell and Veronica? They're going back and forth between the last one of nominating either Bananas and Nani or Darrell and Veronica. We finally get a picture of the board and we get Jack and Laurel, Aneesa, Jordan, Darrell and Veronica, Colleen and Kim. And a good amount of confusion comes from this. A lot of people are questioning them outside and inside the interrogation. Veronica and Darrell are up first for talking to Jay and Michele. And Veronica's like, what are you doing? Jay and Michele have the same talking points for every single team, basically, except for Colleen and Kim. But they're always like, we don't know where your head's at. We don't know if you want to work with us. And so we nominated you to get more confirmation of whether you're wanting to work with us or not wanting to work with us. They even tell Veronica and Darrell that they nominated the people to break up some of the numbers in the house, which Veronica's like, who the hell are you trying to break up with this group of people? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Nobody's really connected out of everybody who is up on the board, so they're confused. They even mentioned, why didn't you nominate Bananas and Nani, who already nominated you? Aneesa and Jordan say the same exact thing. And Jay's head is already on the table in his hands, questioning their decision-making on whether they nominated the right people. Colleen and Kim come in. Jay and Michele talk about how they never talked game with Colleen and Kim, but they would love to work with them moving forward in the game. You know, if you survive the elimination. Then we move on to Laurel and Jack in the interrogation, which they give Jay and Michele the silent treatment. Michele is saying that she doesn't feel like Laurel really wants to work with her. Let me know if that's a mistake or if I'm just wrong to give her the silent treatment. They're pretty much very standoffish. They're not liking that they're nominated. We move to the night portion where Banana appreciates Jay and Michele not nominating him and Nany, even though they have every right to, and that maybe at some point later down the line, they could help out Jay and Michele. Which I understand this logic of not wanting to nominate Bananas and Nany because maybe they'll win. So maybe that they would scratch Jay and Michele's back now that they have scratched his back. However, do we ever trust really anything Johnny Bananas ever says on a challenge season? I do not. We move on to the next day where Jack and Jay are talking, and Jack says anything to not be selected to go directly into the elimination. Jack then goes to Laurel and says a lot of opposite things that he said to Jay, and they are both pissed. And of course, why wouldn't they be pissed? They thought they were good. They thought that they had friends with Jay and Michele, but now we see where their true colors lie, and they're frustrated, and they're gonna want revenge on Jay and Michele if they were able to stay in this game. Aneesa and Michele talk. Michele sounds like she wants to throw in Laurel and Jack directly into the elimination. They say that, hey, we do not want to send you and Jordan into the elimination. Veronica then is thinking and talking to Darrell about what should they do if they pull the safe dagger. Maybe it's a wise choice to make some connections with Colleen and Kim, who could find themselves in a draw over and over and over again. The same with Darrell and Veronica. And maybe it's a good thing if they take a shot at, say, a team of Aneesa and Jordan, who are both very strong in daily challenges, can work together, are skilled and experienced in this game, and Aneesa has a lot of connections, as well as Jordan. He's very close with Tori and Devin and Bananas now, so it wouldn't be a bad move. It's actually a very big move if they were to take a shot at, say, a vet team down at the draw. Michele wants to talk to Laurel. They both get pissed off at each other. There's just this missing communication between the two, and then at the end of the conversation, Michele then goes, "Is my fear of Laurel really getting to me and kind of like skewing my game and my paranoia? Did we make the wrong decision?" Once you're thinking that, you got into your own head there, you're in the thick of it. You're not only getting lost in the game, you're getting lost in the mind and overthinking it, which is very sad to see for Jay and Michele, who I was very excited to see win into power because I thought that they were going to make huge moves this episode. And they do, to a certain extent. Speaking of moves, let's move on to the elimination, where Jay and Michele pick Laurel and Jack to send directly into the elimination. And with Laurel and Jack, it just is mounting and mounting and mounting. Maybe they could have come to an understanding, probably not. But now they're getting sent directly into the elimination. So now, whatever bridge there was for Laurel, Jack, Jay, and Michele has been instantly incinerated in front of everybody. We go to the draw. Kim and Colleen pull a blank sword. Jordan and Aneesa pull a blank sword. Darrell and Veronica are able to pull the safe sword. And then Veronica has this speech about, oh, I needed something from Aneesa. I needed some communication that if she were to pull the safe sword, that she would save us in a way. But I never really got that. And I'm sitting there going, are we going to get Laurel, Jack versus Jordan and Aneesa? I don't know if you can see it, but I wrote on this piece of paper before she said anything that Darrell and Veronica chose to save Kim and Colleen, and it was going to be Laurel and Jack versus Jordan and Aneesa. And then we get to her actual results, and she says, psych, I'm going to save Jordan and Aneesa and send in Kim and Colleen. Exactly what we thought was going to happen, you know? Granted, safe move, probably the best move, but what we could have had, you know? Just think about all the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Think about if Colleen and Kim weren't even nominated, Bananas and Nany were sent in, and then Darrell and Veronica had to choose between Bananas and Nany, Aneesa and Jordan, and then the possibilities of Laurel and Jack facing off against Bananas and Nany or Aneesa and Jordan. Like, what could have been? Ultimately turns into rookie team being sent in again, but this time facing Laurel and Jack in this week's elimination called Give Me Some Slack. Partners on one side of the wall are going to have to climb a giant climbing wall, while their partners on the other side, looking at a giant pattern, they're going to have to try to communicate this pattern to their partner who is trying to recreate it on a board. The team that can recreate their board first will win this elimination, stay in this game while the other team is getting booted out. When looking at the teams and their strategies, I thought that Kim and Colleen actually had a pretty strong strategy of just grabbing all their pieces and then trying to recreate it on their board, which I think could have been really, really smart, especially if you start stacking it from the bottom up. On the other hand, Laurel and Jack were trying to just go piece by piece, where Jack would yell out one piece, Laurel would climb the wall, find that one piece, bring it back down, set it on the sand where he said it was, then do that for the whole thing to where then you could just place all the blocks on the board at one point. Now, Kim and Colleen do get a check first, yet it is wrong. Soon after they get that check, Laurel and Jack have all their pieces in the seemingly right order. Laurel is throwing these pieces on this board almost too quickly because when she sets them in, yells for a check, her board pieces fall out on one column. At that point, Laurel and Jack say, screw it, we're gonna do the whole thing. I didn't think it was the right idea, but it ultimately turns out to be the right idea because Colleen and Kim are off by one puzzle piece, meaning they had a puzzle piece just maybe turned around the wrong way, and they were trying to figure out the puzzle piece one by one while Laurel and Jack was going through the whole entire puzzle. They finally get a check, and Laurel and Jack win this elimination, meaning hell has no fury like a Laurel and Jack scorned as they are coming back into this game ready to take on their revenge. They even look back to the house saying they're happy that they got this win, they're happy that they're here. Also, they have some support, meaning they got a lot of teams having their back. Jay and Michele, realistically, they have a lot of eyes on them moving back to the challenge house into episode 6 as they not only have pissed off a lot of people, but they also lose a number in Colleen and Kim as they are eliminated from this game. I'm pretty sad to see Colleen and Kim leave as I was just getting to feel their vibe. I really enjoyed them last episode and even in this episode. Kim got a lot of confessionals, but they are eliminated from this game, and now Laurel and Jack are coming back in and they're gonna want any and all revenge on Jay and Michele, who they went backwards in this episode after getting into power, which is just the wrong thing. But I'll get more into their decision and what I feel about it in tomorrow's Tiny Table Talk. That is it for this review and recap. What do you think about this episode? Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about Michele and Jay winning into power? What do you think about their decision of nominating those 4 teams and not nominating Bananas tonight? Do you think it was the smart move or do you think it was a bad move? And what do you think about everything that happened and transpired in this episode? Are you worried for Jay and Michele? Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. I want to give a special shout out, thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 38 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.